Happy New Year's, everyone. It's January 1st, 2024. Thank God, because I was sick of 2023. I don't know if you guys know us or not. If you're new, you definitely didn't know us. But if you've been on my channel for a while, yeah, 2023 really sucked in that back half. But I'm hoping 2024 I'll be more active as a content creator. Because, yeah, 2023 was a horrible year. And I'm happy it's done. I feel great. I'm more energized than I was the last 6 months. In a way. Not a lot of ways, but in a way. And hopefully that will show in these videos because I'm really excited to get back into content creation. And I'm also really excited. On some level, I'm also kind of sad because if you read the title of the video, this is the first year in 12 years where not a single Arrowverse episode will be released. That's depressing. Now, if Superman and Lois reverses that Arrowverse disconnect, this video will mean nothing. But, which, by the way, yes, can happen, because Todd Helping said so himself in an interview 3 or 4 months ago, saying out loud, I can reverse it, but he won't, because he doesn't want to, for whatever reason, even though his show won't exist, and one's for the Arrowverse, but here we are. It's gonna be a long year. Anyways, now, okay, all jokes aside, though, Superman and Lois can easily reverse the Arrowverse disconnect, and this video would literally mean nothing. It would just be like, you know, it literally mean nothing. Like, it wouldn't be accurate, but I guarantee you they won't. Even if Grant Gustin shows up in the final season of Superman and Lois, which is airing this year, season 4, it still would be disconnected. It still would be disconnected to the Arrowverse. Because the matter of fact is that they're already established on a different Earth. Even though literally the Arrowverse gave them, whatever. I've already ranted about Superman and Lois enough. You're not here for this. The point is, this will be the first year in 12 years not a single Arrowverse show is on, and not a single Arrowverse episode is airing. Or at least a new Arrowverse episode. We don't know about repeats, but a new Arrowverse episode will not be airing in 2024 at all, unless, again, Superman and Lois changes their minds and reverses that disconnect. But it's kind of sad to think about, because we've literally spent 12 whole years with the Arrowverse, and then it just died. I mean, it literally died the day the Flash's 9th finale aired. And for many of you, it died before then, post-crisis, because post-crisis shows, for many people, kind of sucked. I've been a very huge advocate that season 8 was one of the best seasons of the Arrowverse. But that's me, and that's a minority of the community, the Arrowverse community, so obviously, you know, I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. But I mean, I still enjoy watching season 8 now. I literally just started watching it again a couple days ago, at the end of last year, and I can thank God, and it's still one of my favorite openings to a season, still one of my favorite seasons to start watching for The Flash and the Arrowverse as a whole. But it's kind of depressing that we're going into a new year, and again, for the first time in 12 years, not a single new Arrowverse episode is being released. And I already talked about the downfall of the Arrowverse and my opinion of the downfall and what I think went wrong and all that. But I think it's important to point out that the Arrowverse may not be fully dead as we think it is. And I talked about this before too, but it's important to talk about again because, I mean, here we are in a new year. You know, anything can happen. Anything can happen at all. I don't really care what, but anything can happen. I think the Arrowverse could still have a somewhat growth this year, meaning through comics or maybe an animated show or an animated movie. We don't know yet. There could be an animated Arrowverse show based on The Flash season 10 or Arrow season 9 or just the Arrowverse as a whole. A Justice League Arrowverse animated show. I think we would all watch, especially if it's like the Justice League Unlimited animated show. I mean, if it was like that, I mean, just perfection. You know, just you can have all the actors come back voicing from their homes. They don't need to leave their home for those who are doing different jobs. I mean, they can literally do it from anywhere this day and age. So, as of right now, nothing new for the Arrowverse in 2024. Now, in March, that could be different. Or May, that could be different. Or December of this year could be different. I know I'm talking about, 12 months from now, but that's important to look at. A lot can change in 12 months. A lot can change in a month. Hell, a lot can change in 24 hours, as we know. So, I mean, really. But in my luck, at least this video, like, don't announce some stupid Arrowverse project that's being released. But it's just, I'm kidding by that. I would be genuinely surprised if that happens. Now, if it does happen, I think that all you should watch should hit subscribe button if you haven't hit it already, because that will mean that I'm very lucky, and that means that CW watches my videos, which means, and Eric Wallace watches them, which means that I can snap my fingers and make something happen. So therefore, you should subscribe to make sure that Eric keeps doing that. I don't know what I just said. That make any sense? I don't think it made any sense. Anyways, oh God, it's gonna be a great year, guys. But oh God, I'm going through like a midlife crisis here. The matter of the fact is that it's a really depressing thought, and a thought that there could be nothing new in the Arrowverse 2024. Again, that could be very much so different by March or May or just even November or December. Because by then, we could have already had a comic release for the Arrowverse again. Because I genuinely don't see how we can go a full year without anything related to the Arrowverse happening. No comics, no movies, no animated shows, nothing. I don't see that happening at all. I don't think Eric Wallace would let that happen anyways. I don't think really anybody who's worked for the Arrowverse, for the Arrowverse shows, would allow it to happen. Because, I mean, honestly, the writers of the shows, they can do the comics as long as DC allows them to do it. And I don't think James Gunn's that stupid to look at the Arrowverse success and say, well, you can't do this and that. If he knows what's good for the Arrowverse and what's good for his own fan base, I would say just make an animated show or comics, like I said before. Through that position, there can be more Arrowverse information in 2024. But I don't think there will be any new Arrowverse shows or episodes being released in 2024. And I don't just think that, I know that because Justice U, which was presumed to be part of the Arrowverse, and then it went to Superman Lois, and then went back and forth, and we didn't really know, it's not happening. And again, Superman Lois, as far as we are aware, it's not changing that disconnect to the Arrowverse. Now again, they could. Todd Helping said they could, but they won't. At least right now they're not. That could change by the time the show airs. By the time the season airs, excuse me. So we could very well be looking back at this video on January 1st, 2024, all the way into like September 1st, 2024. 9 months from now, obviously. And have a look back in this video and be like, damn, I was so wrong. Like, I mean, I might be. And I really hope I am. But at the same time, I really hope I'm not. Because Superman Lois should not be part of the Arrowverse. I don't think, now like I'm going to get into a lot of trouble for saying this by you guys. But you know how I feel about Superman Lois. I don't think it's a good show. I think season 1 was great. Season 2 kind of dipped. And then season 3 is a train wreck. But on some level, it was cool in some parts, but the writing just sucks. It's focused on CGI more than writing. And I don't really want to be part of the Arrowverse unless it's for a legitimate reason. You know, don't just throw Grant in there just for the hell of it. You know, you can throw Grant in there for any reason. I'll watch the episode, but don't just throw him in there to connect it back to the Arrowverse. You know, make it part of the multiverse, fine. But unless you're going to give him a good story and explain if it is part of the Arrowverse now, just saying for so long it's not. Explain why Barry and Kara and John, both of them, or the Spectre never showed up when Doomsday was there, or still there, I guess, because it was a cliffhanger, right? Season 2, or Season 3, excuse me. Or, you know, when Bizarro literally changed the entire Earth. I mean, the Spectre showed up when Bloodworth threatened to destroy the multiverse. This is, if they reverse that, why didn't you show up on, you know, during that moment when Earth was being destroyed then? I mean, there's a lot of loopholes that Todd will have to force the writers to jump through and be like, well, we gotta explain this and that and that and that and that and that. It wouldn't work. And so for the Arrowverse's sake, I think the best position and the best statement to make for this year going for the Arrowverse is there will be no new shows and no new episodes for the Arrowverse at all. Now, in regard to comics, like I brought up, that can be different, fundamentally different. We could see a whole comic release like we saw for the Earth Prime comics including Lois and Stargirl, by the way, all tying in. The Titan show, obviously that's not on anymore, but The Flash, Grant Gustin showed up in that show. Obviously it was a cameo with old footage, but even Court showed up in it. Stargirl showed up in it. So there's a lot of possibilities that can be connected to the multiverse, including the Arrowverse. The DCU can even do that if they really want to. But no new shows, new episodes. And that's a heavy, I think, statement to carry when you look at, that's the first time in 12 years. Now again, December, we could look back on the year and I might be saying something completely different. I might be saying this in 2025, the first year where no new ever shows episodes. Because we don't really know. Now, there's no development for a new show, but would anyone be surprised if the CW announces on some random Miracle Fest that The Flash is going to a spin-off show? And it features Wally or Jay or XS or Bart? I mean, would anyone be surprised by that? I wouldn't be. I mean, they let the door open. They didn't close it. Or for Avery or Max, you know, the three speedsters that we saw at the end, the Flash series finale. They can easily get spin-off shows. Does CW want to do it or not? And if they do, then, you know, we'll be looking at something different. But as of right now, January 1st, 2024 at 9:40 p.m., there has been no announcements of a new Arrow show, and it doesn't seem to be any new announcements even happening. For the CW anyways, besides Samantha and Lois. And so I don't see them going down the route of doing a Flash spin-off show under any circumstances, whether we want it or not. But in that regard, you know, I generally don't see anything like that happening anytime soon. Which therefore leads me to say no new Arrowverse shows episodes happening in 2024. Again, I could be wrong. You know, in December, I could look back, be the exact opposite. But it is really depressing to think about. And you really look at the Arrowverse as a whole, realize how fast it went by, and you realize, holy like, this is, you know, the first year without it. Maybe that'll spark some fans to try to make a campaign to be like, yeah, bring it back. Like, please. Because, like, I need content, you know? Like, you know, no. I'll be good. But, like, it would be nice to have the Arrowverse come back for a final year. And in that regard, I think it would mean a lot to the fans, especially everyone who watches this channel, probably, including myself. Because, again, I need the content and, you know, probably I could repeat myself in this video like I did a lot, I'm sure. But it's important to think about. And again, hopefully this is different by the end of the year. But if it's not, we got to live with it. And, you know, well, we just got to remember the good times of the Arrowverse, you know. I mean, we got lucky with 12 whole years of the Arrowverse. 12. That's a lot. Whether you liked all the shows, all the seasons or not, the matter of fact is that we had 12 years of DC TV content in a shared universe that was never done before. That is historic in itself. Whether it was good or bad or whatever you want to say about it, it did happen. And that is so unbelievably important that nobody should ever forget. And if, God willing, Superman Lois reverses that decision for the Arrowverse Connect, and or we get a new Arrowverse show like the Flash spin-off show that I was mentioning earlier, that will probably never happen, but if it does, you know, it could be a different discussion at the end of the year. But it's just something to think about going in the year, that we could very well end up with this being the first ever year of no new Arrowverse shows, episodes. Hopefully there'll be a comic release or an animated show or something. But no real show involving live action actors. And no new episodes for the Arrowverse. At least right now. Again, that could change. Who knows? But it's important to think about. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.